Hi, I'm Steve. This is going to be my first ever YouTube video. I'm not going to call it a tutorial. This is really more a practice session for me. Not as much on the video, but I'm going to be mounting an orchid today. But before I begin, I want to show you a little bit about what I grow and how I grow. This is how I got started, on a cart, all phalaenopsis, in my windowsill. This is actually the first orchid that I ever had, given to me by my mom, not in flower, and I was able to rebloom it, not knowing what I was going to do, or what I was doing. Some of the things I've got in bloom right now, I've got a nice sherry baby. It's got 4 inflorescences in bloom and 2 more that are just budding out. This is a small terrarium that I put together. The only reason I'm really showing you this is take a look at that cork background. I had some extra material from when I put the cork background into this, and that's what I'm going to be using for my mount today, is the extra cork. I've expanded a little bit beyond my phalaenopsis days. Here's a couple of my paths and a cat that just started to bloom today. And this is my real grow space. It is in my dining room. It's a grow tent. It's kind of a pop-up tent that I use to keep a little bit better humidity. You can see I grow under lights. I'm just going to show you a couple of things that I've got in bloom, and then I'm going to get to my practice session for mounting an orchid. Nice bulbophyllum claptonese. Cynorchus. Couple warm growing phals, Bellina in the back there. Yeah, I've expanded a little bit beyond my early phalaenopsis days. If this video goes well, maybe I'll make another one and actually talk a little bit more about how I grow and what I grow, but I'm gonna leave it there. So as you can see, I've got all my materials here that I think I'm gonna need. I have my cork. This was the background, a little bit of the extra background from that terrarium. I have my plant and some moss. This is Epidendrum parksonianum that I'm going to be mounting, and it's a pretty good size. Got some scissors. I'm going to be using twist ties that someone from the Illinois Orchid Society had suggested, and I've tried once before, and it did seem a lot easier. Right now my moss and the orchid are actually soaking in some water and Kelpak. Kelpak is available at firstraise.com, and it helps promote root growth. I don't get anything out of firstraise.com, but I do use this product, and I like it. I think it does a good job. So here's my plant. I've actually been growing it in semi-hydro up till now. I actually unflasked this just under a year ago. I bought the flask, received it in August of 2022, now being July of 2023. It's been growing really well. It's got a couple new growths on it, and like I said, I wanted to practice mounting, so I've decided to take it out of semi-hydro. I've already cut off most of the dead roots, and there weren't too many. Some of the roots are not in the best of condition, but since I want to give this the best shot ever of taking, I don't want to cut off too much. So the first step that I'm doing is I'm putting it on the mount. You can see that the hanger is up here. All the pictures that I've seen have always shown this kind of growing face down. The fluorescences are definitely pendant. so this might help it. I'm going to be putting it directly against the cork, and I'm going to put some moss on top of that. The reason that I'm doing that is everything I've read and seen says I want the roots to adhere to the cork, not the moss, so I want them in direct contact with the moss. I think I might cut this root off since it's really just going to be tough to get it to contact the cork anyway. Okay, so I've cut off those couple of extra roots. I'm going to take some of my moss, kind of squeezing out the excess water and kelpak and fertilizer, and I'm just going to be layering a little bit on top of those roots. That's going to help me keep them moist each day as I water these. This is probably going to be an everyday kind of water for me because my house gets kind of dry, especially during the summer. That's why I don't have really too much mounted, and I don't usually mount things, and that's why I'm practicing. You guys can tell me if I'm making any big mistakes. Just remember, because this is my first video. So I'm not using a ton of moss, but I am trying to cover everything up and get in the gaps there. And then I've always had a problem with fishing line or other ways of tying, and that's why I'm going to be using the twist ties. So here we go. I'm going to be using these twist ties. Like I said, a friend from the Illinois Orchid Society suggested them. I bought these from Home Depot. It's just a spool of twist tie material, just like you think of twist ties, but it's a nice, really long, as long as I need it. I'm going to start mine on the back with the back of the hook that I drilled through the cork. So that way it's got something to start on, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap it around and press it down, trying to keep it tight. So when I've tried this before using fishing line, I'm not very good with knots, and so I've always had a problem with kind of the end of it. This part I could do with the fishing line, but the twist, the knot at the end was always problematic for me. And so this twist tie seems to work a lot better for me. It's obviously, you can see it, unlike the fishing line, but it doesn't look too bad. You can't see it too much, and really once these roots take hold, it's not really going to be a problem at all. So I'm gonna just I'm probably doing a little bit more than I have to. That looks actually like it's going to be pretty stable. Here's the back. You can see the back, and the front was just the start was tied there. So I'm just going to go around kind of once more so that I can end also at the same spot. And now I'm going to cut that off, and we're going to see how it looks. So, as you can see, from front, back, looks pretty neat. We'll see how it stands up over time, but I'm pretty happy with how the twist ties worked and how this looks overall. And I guess as an aside, if you're interested in any of these Epidendrum parksonianums, I've got a bunch of them, and my friend Kay from the Illinois Orchid Society is helping me sell them. She knows how to ship a little bit better than me, and I'll put her information in my the notes, so that if you want to order one, They should be about the same size. This one was a little bit bigger than some of the other ones, but all unflasked at the same time. The last thing that I will do I'll be taking my tag and attaching it onto the back, but I forgot to poke a hole in this so that I can tie it on, or a stapler. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you did. Be nice again, and maybe I'll make another one. Thanks. Bye.